Ohayou gozaimasu, konnichiwa, konbanwa. Thank you for downloading this episode of the Joshi Pod, where we talk about all things Japanese women's wrestling, Joshi wrestling. I'd like to first off thank you all for downloading last week's episode, which featured an interview with the Wrestling Observer's Jim Valley. If you haven't had a listen to it yet, go ahead and download and take a listen. We talk about Stardom, his experiences with Fumi Saito from Japan, and his experience doing play-by-play for the Stardom pay-per-view this last WrestleMania weekend. On this week's show, we'll talk about the top 5 headlines of the week. We'll take a look at the highlight show of the week, which was the Tokyo Joshi Pro Women's part in the DDT show at Ryogoku this past weekend. We'll also look at the calendar for the upcoming week. We'll see where the Joshi wrestlers are performing outside of Japan. And in the main event, we'll be chatting with the voice of Gatoh Move, Pumi. You're going to want to stick around and listen to that. Let's kick off the show today by looking at the top 5 headlines of the week. Headline number 1. May you call her champion again? On Monday at Korakuen Hall, Mayu Iwatani pinned Bea Priestley with a 2-stage Dragon Suplex to win the World of Stardom Championship for the second time. Iwatani called out Kagetsu to be her first title defense. The two will face off December 24th at Korakuen Hall. Mayu is also teasing a match with Arisa Hoshiki. Earlier in the show, Arisa pinned Jamie Hayter after a Shining Star Cutter, followed by a Shining Knee, to retain the Wonder of Stardom Championship. It was Arisa's 7th defense. Arisa called out Konami after the match because Konami had defeated her earlier this year in the 5-Star Grand Prix. Headline number 2. Nanae is bald. Nanae Takahashi lost her hair in a hair versus title match against Arisa Nakajima in Kanagawa on November 3rd in a nearly 30-minute battle. Nakajima could be seen crying while shaving Nanae's head. Nanae catches a lot of flack for her booking, but takes a lot of guts to do what she did. This is Nakajima's second successful defense. She won the Beyond the Sea Championship back in September against Takumi Iroha. Headline number 3. 10 time. You get the idea. Also on November 3rd, Tsukusa Fujimoto and Tsukushi won the Ice Ribbon International Tag Team Championships. They defeated Azure Revolution, which is made up of the team of Maya Yukihi and Risa Serra. Those two are no strangers to holding those tag belts. Tsukushi's held them 10 times and Fujimoto 7. Headline 4. Miyuki Takase is named Best Actress. On November 6th, the Phoenix of Osaka, Miyuki Takase defeated Himeka Arita in nearly 20 minutes to win the vacant AGZ Championship at Korakuen Hall. The title was vacated back in September. Takase is the 3rd champion. Headline number 5. Emi Sakura wants to show Riho she is queen of AEW. Tomorrow night is a pretty huge night for Joshi Wrestling and its international reach. Emi Sakura challenges for the AEW Women's Championship when she takes on her former student Riho at AEW's Full Gear on pay-per-view live from Baltimore. That's our top 5 headlines for the week, but there's a bunch more newsworthy items during our highlight show of the week.
危ないですから黄色い線までお下がりください。まもなく2番線に渋谷新宿方面行きが参ります。Tokyo Joshi Pro was well represented at the DDT Ultimate Party show from Sumo Hall in Ryogoku late Saturday night California time. I'm glad I stayed up to watch that show. The big title change saw Yuka Sakazaki, who will be in AEW soon, defeat Shoko Nakajima to win the Princess of Princesses title. It was quite the match. Sakazaki won with a Miracle Girl Splash. The Princess Tag Team titles also changed hands with Miyu Watanabe and my girl Rika Tatsumi defeating Niobe Ishiki-gun, Misao, and Sakizama. Rika and Misao were in a good versus evil fight, both trying to get each other to change sides. The good Rika prevailed. They're hinting at some turbulence in the partnership between Misao and Sakizama. Rika's trying to have Misao show her good side again. It was also Kenny Omega's big return to DDT as he teamed with AEW Women's Champion Riho to defeat the great Antonio Honda and Miyu Yamashita. There may have been some comedy in the match, but there's a reason they call Yamashita the Pink Striker. She might be one of the top 2-3 wrestlers in the world. At the press conference the day after the show, Yamashita said, "It sucks that I lost, but it was a great experience teaming with Honda, allowing me to expand my horizons." Looks like they're setting up a Yamashita as the challenger for Sakazaki on the big Tokyo Joshi Pro show on January 4th. The back and forth between Yuka, the media, Miyu, and the Tokyo Joshi Pro staff was quite entertaining at that same press conference. The media had some questions for Yuka. They asked, "You don't care about Miyu?"
Yuka said, no. The media followed up, you lost last time you challenged for Miyu's championship at Hakka Star Lanes. Yuka said, Yuka has no memory of that. The media kept following up, Yuka, it'll be your first main event for the January 4th show, which is the biggest Tokyo Joshi Pro show of the year. Yuka said, no, and then stuck her tongue out. Also on that big show at Ryogoku, Maki Ito and Chris Brooks came up short, winning the Gauntlet Tag Team match. Ito was great. She has so much personality, and it's awesome seeing her boss Chris Brooks around. Following up on last week's story, no word on if Ito's bicycle has been recovered yet. The Bakuritsu sisters, Nodoka Tenma and Yuki Aino, were also in that Gauntlet Tag Team match, but came up short. Speaking of short, a terrible joke here. Those two may not be the tallest team in the world, but they sure do have some quite a bit of skill and power. Tenma's a strong young woman. Asuka is now one of the 5 members of the KOD 10-person tag team champions. There was a lot of comedy in this match in the space-time continuum, which led to the finish. It's DDT, guys. For a short time, Yuki Kamafuku became the DDT Iron Man Heavy Metal Champion by pinning a chair. Don't ask. If you're not familiar, this title is similar to the WWE's 24/7 Championship. She became the 1,435th champion, according to Wikipedia. Other former champions include that aforementioned chair, ladder, which had a retirement ceremony, a chef, a taxi driver, Hana Kimura, Emi Sakura, Kyoko Inoue, a television cameraman, a baseball bat. You guys can probably skip ahead 30 seconds. I'll still be rattling off names. Kota Ibushi, Takako Inoue, Big Japan Pro Wrestling ring truck, a desk at Shinkiba First Ring, Rice, Kana, who's now Asuka in WWE, the ringside mat at Ice Ribbon Dojo, Asha Kong, Lady Beard, Rey Mysterio Jr., Laura James, Candice LeRae, Bus, Pork Bun, Trash Bin, Shayna Baszler, The Invisible Man, Yu, Maki Ito, the other Asuka, Su Young, and about 1,000 others. If Kazuki Hirata is still the champion the next time I'm in Japan, I want to add Podcaster to that list. In a pre-show match, Hikari Noa, Mahiro Kiryu, Suzume, and Yumi defeated Haruna Neko, Mirai Mayumi, Pam Harajuku, and Raku. Big shout out to Mr. Haku, no, not Ming, a different Haku, who runs the DDT English Update Twitter. It was life-saving while watching the show live. Give him a follow on Twitter at DDTPro_ENG or at Mr. Hakasan. Before we get to the calendar this week, let me tell you about our show sponsor. We want to thank our friends at Quiet White Designs for helping with this podcast. If you're a wrestler or a wrestling promotion needing an awesome design for a t-shirt, sticker, pin, patch, and so much more, reach out to the team at Quiet White Designs. Search Quiet Wyatt, QUIETWYATT, one word, on Facebook. You can also find some of their designs on Redbubble. Quiet White Designs is one of the sponsors for Thunder Rosa, who's done a couple of tours with Stardom, for her first MMA fight on November 8th at Freedom Coliseum in San Antonio, Texas. Kick some butt, Thunder Rosa, and get a kick butt design from Quiet White Designs. Those in the Pacific Northwest are in for a treat. Miko Satomura will be in on November 30th and December 1st for Defy Wrestling's Wrestle Summit 2 in Seattle. A little sooner than that, Mei Suruga will be wrestling on November 9th and 10th for Pro Wrestling Eve, the She Won tournament. When I spoke with her after a seedling show in September at Korakuen Hall, Mei told me that she was very nervous but excited about the opportunity. She's got a ton of charisma and talent well beyond her years. I think the London crowd's going to fall in love with her. The She Won is a 2-day tournament that has 3 blocks of 4 wrestlers. They wrestle a round-robin tournament. May's got some pretty rough competition. In Block C, she'll face the tough veteran and former WWE superstar Jazz, Rio O'Reilly, who's out of London, and Jetta, who's another veteran and very talented woman. You get 2 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, and 0 points for a loss. The winners of each group will face each other in a triple threat match. Other notables in the tournament are Nicole Savoy and Mercedes Martinez. The winner will be named the Ace of Eve and get a title match of their choosing at Wrestle Queendom 3 on January 11th at York Hall in London. Tickets are on sale for Wrestle Queendom 3 on the Eventbrite app. Shoko Nakajima, who just lost her Princess of Princesses title, will be wrestling in Mexico City tonight for CMLL. This is the start of her excursion to Mexico. She'll be in a 6-1 match. One of her opponents will be Dallas, who was in with Tokyo Joshi Pro this past September. For those in Southern California, Stardom's Tam Nakano and Mayu Iwatani will be appearing at the Chara Expo on December 7th and 8th in Anaheim. They'll be facing Sumi Sakai and Nicole Savoy. Tickets for the Chara Expo can be found on their website, charaexpo-usa.com. I'm hoping to have an opportunity to chat with some of them at the Expo. Before we get to our big main event, I'd like to thank you all again for downloading the podcast again this week. Please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcasts from. I'd love to hear your feedback. You can email the podcast at the joshipod@gmail.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Eric San Diego and the show at the Joshi Pod. Enjoy the interview with Pumi, and we'll see you next week. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gatoh Move Pro Wrestling YouTube channel. It's my biggest honor to do the commentary for the greatest wrestling match of all time. We have Lulupencil against Antonio Honda. The legendary Lulupencil against one of the most beloved wrestlers in Gatoh Move Pro Wrestling, the genius Antonio Honda, referee Aoi Kisuki. Please expect the unexpected in this match.
Welcome to the show, Pumi, who is the voice of Gatoh Move. Thank you for coming on the show, Pumi.
Thank you for inviting me as well.
And you are in Thailand, correct?
Yes, I'm in Thailand.
What's the wrestling scene like in Thailand?
The wrestling scene, I think for wrestling fans, we have a lot of wrestling fans for a long time. But for a company like Gatoh Move or the others who try to make the organization here in Thailand, is still quite difficult. Let's see, because Thailand, there are so many sports, so many entertainment for people to go, and the ticket price is quite cheap. For example, the Thai Premier League ticket, you can go for like $1, $2, but for wrestling, you cannot do that, right? You need to go buy at least $10 for a ticket. But when you want to start something, you cannot have the best production compared to the football or the other sports that stay in business for a very long time. So that's why fans love to support what is already good more than to focus on something new like wrestling.
Yeah. So is like WWE, things like that on TV in Thailand?
No. What we have on TV right now is just like New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's all we have.
Were you a wrestling fan as a child?
Wrestling fans, you mean to me or?
Yeah, you. Were you a wrestling fan as a child?
Oh, yes. I started watching wrestling since I was about 2 or 3 years old. Basically, I cannot remember when did I start, but for my dad, for my brothers, so we have some kind of the home video in the past that see me and my brother watching wrestling when I was like 2 or 3 years old. So that's good things.
I have a very similar story, but my mom used to take me to shows when I was very little, so I can't remember life without wrestling in my life.
Yeah. Thank God we have a video recording.
So how did you get involved with the production or get involved doing commentary, things like that?
Okay, firstly, before I do Gatoh Move, I need to go back to my early days in wrestling. I'm the co-founder of Gatoh Move, right? But before I worked with Gatoh Move, I met Emi Sakura because I was the commentators for Ice Ribbon in Thailand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so by that time I worked like Thai play-by-play for like New Japan Pro Wrestling, All Japan Pro Wrestling, to TNA Impact, to Dragon Gate, also Academy, and kind of like Ibuki, Crush, Japanese fighting sports. I did that. So that's why I met Emi Sakura. And then we started to move together. And now it's on the stage that we try to focus to reach more international fans. So I try to do that to do English commentaries, even it's my third languages. But yeah, I think now it's a good time for us to try to reach to more international audience. So that's why we start.
So you've done commentary for quite a few companies. How did you get involved in the industry at all? How did you get your foot in the door to start?
Okay, by the time about almost 10 years ago, I can say, when I already in in the university student. The Thailand, the internet wrestling community is quite small. So me, I love to watch wrestling and focus on the details or even the very less details. And I love writing. So I love to write some kind of the interesting fact or kind of the articles on the wrestling stories nobody knows before in Thailand. So by the time I getting famous in the wrestling communities and when some kind of the TV channels, they want to bring Japanese pro wrestling to the television and they make a research to get to any people who have knowledge about wrestling. So they reach out to me and that's how I start. So I work there as the producers, I work there as the commentators and kind of the business negotiations start from that.
Did you get the opportunity to travel to Japan at all?
To Japan, I went to Japan countless time, and when I go to Japan, I'm gonna work there as a ring announcer in Gatoh Move Pro Wrestling.
And what do you think? How different is Japan from Thailand?
The fact that in Thailand, wrestling is more like American style because the American wrestling, WWE, WCW, stay in Thai culture for a very long time. So the way we react to wrestling is quite American style. But in Japan, the way they watch wrestling is more like the professionals. If you are in the wrestling business in Japan, you will call wrestling fans there as the professional fans. They will just sit quietly looking at your skills and judge you from what you did on the ring. It may not be something like you just go there to relax, you just go there to enjoy entertainment, but Japan style always focus on your skills, focus that serious as a real sport. So the atmosphere in Japan going to be a lot more quiet. It changed a lot this day, but it still cannot compare to the American styles or compared to Thai audience. We have some of the YouTube matches from Bangkok and in Japan. You can check out and let's see the difference.
Which do you prefer?
I prefer both styles, honestly, because as I own Gatoh Move as well, right? So as a promoter,
Gatoh Move's a whole different thing. So yeah, that doesn't fall into either category. Gatoh Move is something completely different. But yeah, which do you prefer, the American or the Japanese style of audiences?
I prefer both because as a promoter, what is good for me is what is good for the wrestlers. And I love to see, for example, when I bring some Japanese talent there to Thailand and they need to work harder to make sure they can engage Thai fans. Same as when I send Thai guys to Japan, they need to work harder to make sure they can engage to the Japanese fans. So I think both style has the good things and both style has the difficult things to work on. So I love both styles. It's just something that we need to work our best to make sure we can hit both in a good ways.
So your English is very good. How long have you been doing English commentary?
I just started doing English commentary just when I started doing for Gatoh Move because mostly I do commentary in Thai.
So, yeah. So your Thai commentary, are you animated like, or are you more calm like you are with the Gatoh Move?
I take it more serious because when I did commentary for like the big companies like New Japan, they have some kind of the how to say, the emotions or some kind of the feeling that they want you to commentary like this during this part, blah 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 blah. It's not so freestyle like I do for Gatoh Move.
Do you understand Japanese? Do you speak Japanese?
A little bit. In wrestling, I can talk, but I can read some, but outside of wrestling, I cannot.
You're doing the commentary for New Japan or for one of those other companies. Do they let you kind of know what's going on with the storylines, things like that, before you do the commentary?
Oh, let's see, because the New Japan thing is kind of the same footage we use for AXS, for the XS TV.
Okay.
So during the English part, I can understand. And during the Japanese part, they add subtitles. But yes, I need to work a lot harder to make sure that, okay, where the show located and what is good for that city is kind of the most detailed, the best commentary it can be, I think. So I try to make a lot of research before I do any commentaries. Because English is my third language. If I have only my pronunciation not that good, So I need to work harder on the other part because I try to improve my English skill every day because I want to make it better. But it cannot be good within like 1 week or 1 month, anything. So while I'm working hard on this, I try to make sure the other part is good as well. So yeah, it's part of the
Well,
difficult
Pumi,
thing.
I think your English not being perfect. I mean, your English is very good, but your English not being perfect. It's some of the charm, I think, of when listening to the Gatoh Move. When you do your Gatoh Move play by play, there's some charm there that you can tell you're not an English speaker, but you're going all out. You're enjoying the show and you're describing it, and you're describing it very well and very fun.
Well, thank you.
So let's get into it. So you met Emi through Ice Ribbon.
Yes,
Okay, and then she left Ice Ribbon and started Gatoh Move.
in Bangkok, yes.
How did that relationship grow?
The relationship grow is, I think we had the same goals because she want to start something new in Thailand and I need to make that happen. It's something that everybody think is impossible to do a wrestling in Thailand, right? So when we have the same goals and we working hard on that, when someone working hard together, I think the relationship grow easier. So that's why me and Amy become like close friends, become like a boss and the employees, become everything, I think. So I think she's become one of the most important part in the last 10 years. I stayed with her for almost 10 years already.
She's such a sweetheart too. She's such a nice lady.
Yeah, she is a very nice lady. She is someone that honestly you can see some kind of the unique atmosphere with the Gatoh Move members, right?
Absolutely.
Some may say that you are this close because you are very small. You have only Riho, you have only Kotori, like in the past 5 members. But right now you see Gatoh Move had a lot of members, and don't forget we also have the Thai branch, and we still this close. It's a long term, long distance relationship anyway, but we are very close. We go to eating together. We go to kind of too close, so close. So I think that's because we have a good relationship. Amy is a nice lady, so she can put us together and be a good friends. So that's a good thing about her.
Before we get into the Japanese Gatoh Move wrestlers, tell me a little bit about some of the wrestlers in Thailand, some of the trainees over there.
In fact, okay, in Thailand, it's very difficult to get the trainees. Right now, we have about 10 or 12 wrestlers. If we include trainees, it's going to be about 20. But the difficult thing is, let's say, because event wrestling is in Thai cultures, in Thai society for a very long time, but it's come with the fact that wrestling is fake. Wrestling is some kind of the sport entertainment, right? Mm-hmm. So for that, many people just think wrestling will be easy. So they come to try out, they come to trainings. But the problem is they didn't expect to see the wrestling training going to be like this, like the front row, the basic, after basic, the bumping. They just want to come the first day and become like a John Cena, become like the Undertakers. Yes, right? So that's why, let's see, the ratio going to be right. In 100 trainees, you may get 1 or 2. That's good already.
I think that's pretty universal. It's kind of the same here in the States, where you get 40 people trying out, and maybe one sticks with the system.
Yeah. That's gonna always be like that.
So, do they have a ring in Thailand, or are they wrestling on the mat only? Yeah.
No, we have the ring. Yes, we have a ring. We import from Japan. We have a kind of the good sponsors who support us on that. But the problem in Thailand is that, how to say, the venue rentals and also the understanding about pro wrestling. Because when you are a wrestling company, wrestling still relate to the image of the violence. So you cannot just rent the venue and say, hey, I'm going to do pro wrestling, because they're going to say, no, that's too dangerous for us. So you cannot find a venue. The second is the price going to be very low. For example, you're going to have like $400 for a day, but you cannot find $600 a day. It's going to be $400, and then that's going to be $1,000 a day. So you cannot, if you want to do a ring, you need to spend that much to get the bigger venue, to the enough venue for you to sell a ticket and you get enough income. So that's why we cannot do much ring shows. We do ring show maybe the most 5 times a year, so that's the most we ever do. But for the match shows, okay, some gonna say that the match show is very small, but talk about the business perspective, right? You get the same amount of income. You do mat or you do a ring. So right now I try to grow the fan base with a mat, because good thing for a mat is you can move, you can go anywhere, you can make a tour, you can tour any part of Thailand, and if you get a new fans, you can make sure that you can sell a ring ticket, because you are forced to do the big venue for ring shows, right? Because of the situation in the countries. So right now we try to get more fans, to get fans from the other entertainment medias, like the idols fans, the football fans, blah 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 blah, to make sure they come to watch our show. So yeah.
So tell me some about this. Who? All right. So let's. There's a thing in the States right now too, where they're starting to do shows without a ring as well. They're starting to do them like in bars and like fighting in bars and people fighting around bars. So I think it's catching on a little bit more. The no ring shows.
For I think, let's see. I think, how to say, there are so many wrestling companies in Southeast Asia countries talking to me and ask about the possibilities to do a wrestling. So I think that there are so many people that want to do wrestling but have a problem with the budget. So what happened is, I think after the success of Gatoh Move Pro Wrestling, they give you many possibilities. People can see that, hey, I can start wrestling by just what we had, right? Mm-hmm. So it prevents people to stop their dream just because they don't have money. So I think that's a very good thing. Right now you have the wrestling organization in Singapore, in Vietnam, which just doing on a mat. Yeah, so I think at least there's someone who have a dream, who have the willing to do pro wrestling and can start what they want to do. So there is a good thing about mat wrestling and about what we did. Yeah.
Let's talk about your Gatoh Move play-by-play. What are some of your favorite matches you've done play-by-play for with Gatoh Move?
My favorite match to do play-by-play is Riho last match.
Why is that?
For the companies. Because, Riho is a very important part of our company, and she is like my sisters. We work together. We are too close together, and to let Riho, not to let Riho, I mean, to see her separate from the company is very emotional. And I was there personally as a ring announcer by that event. And it feels like it's my duty to announce or to show the footage of Riho departing to the international fans. It's going to be through the YouTube video, right? So it feels a little bit difficult, emotional to me. And it's good to express the feeling to her, to Emi. It's a very difficult day to us, because I think we all know that she is a very big part of our history, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's good and emotional. So that's why I love.
Have you gotten to see her on AEW?
Yeah, a lot.
What do you think about her on? What do you think about her on AEW?
It's good. I talked to her and we said like, okay, what do you think from wrestling in front of like 60 fans to the almost more than 10,000, let's say. And she said that she don't know because it's too fast. She went from wrestler in front of a small crowd to become a world champion in the period of just 3 months. So I think that's a good thing to see her become. I'm gonna feel sad if she leaves the company and don't get any success at all, right?
Yeah.
But now she out of Gatoh Move Pro Wrestling and become a world class player. I think it's worth. And she deserves that. I always think Riho deserves to be a superstar, and I'm glad she can make it.
I'm sure you've seen Emi on AEW as well.
Yeah, I talking to her a lot because we didn't talk only business. We talk something like nonsense. We talk about Freddie Mercury. We talk something about Thai food, anything. So that's fun.
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay, so I went to 2 shows in September at Ichikaya, and I had the most fun there. The women were so kind to me. They were trying to talk English for me, and I told them they didn't have to, but they were very super nice to me. And there's somebody that I saw there that I said, I have to make this young lady try to help her to become a superstar. Lulupencil. Tell me about Lulupencil.
Okay. Lulupencil is a freelance writer and she is very good. You see, she's went to She1. She will go to She1 just for her writing words. When someone pay you to go there to work, that means you are good enough, right? So she is very good with her job. And in wrestling, I think we need to go back to she representing the Remote Joshi Pro Wrestling, which we call the Darejo. You heard that before?
Yes.
The Darejo concept is everybody can be a pro wrestling. So the way we produce a show or produce Darejo wrestlers will be a little bit different. You see that the Pencil, if you go to the proper dojo, you will say, nah, you are not good enough to be a pro wrestler because you cannot do this, you cannot do that, right? But we want to show that in a lifetime, you can do pro wrestling. You can try to be a pro wrestler. You can have your main job, but you can use your free time to be a pro wrestler. You can make your dreams come true. So we can make something that you think is your weak point become your strongest point. You see that clearly from the Pencil, right? She trains very hard. You may think she did something so easy. She may just come, no train, and just do something fun to entertain people, which is not. She trained very hard. She trains very, very hard. So what we put on YouTube, what we put in a match is come by very hardworking girls, So that's something I respect her a lot. With that concept that make the radio more, or even make Gatoh Move more special place, because we love to support people's dream. And I'm glad to see international fans love the Pencil because anybody who work hard deserves to get prize,
Well, that's well said. I also fell in love with Mei Suruga. She's quite a talented young lady.
Yeah. Miss Suruga is very nice girl. She worked hard as well. You see, before this period, I think in the past 2 or 3 years, she not this good, but she is the one who always say that I want to do my best, and she keep working hard. She said that she wants to enjoy pro wrestling, so as long as she still feels struggle to worry about herself, not good enough, blah 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 blah. The best way for her to change that ideas is to work hard and make sure she become a better wrestler. So that's why I think she become a better wrestler day by day or every time a commentary for her match. So that's good for her.
And it's nice to see her branch out to do like seedling shows, and she's doing the She1 this weekend as well. So that's great for her, I think.
Yeah.
Her and the Mei tag team she had for a little bit.
Yeah.
But wrestling Hiroyo Matsumoto and Yoshiko, that's good experience for her to have.
Yeah. She is very young anyway.
Yeah, and we did chat after we chatted after the seedling show for a few minutes, and she's very nervous, and she's got, like you said, she's gonna keep her confidence, and she's really good, and she just doesn't know it yet, but she's really, really good.
Yeah. She is very good. She is very polite girl, I think.
Her English is pretty good too, so I was able to chat with her quite a bit, and it was very nice.
She always try her best. I think she is still young and she's willing to learn. That's why she improved really fast.
And that's why she's going where she's going. She's trying hard,
Yeah. Right now, I think most of Gatoh Move rosters try to improve their English because we know we have more international fans, and we don't want to be just a receiver. We want to give something back. And the good thing is we need to know more English, because we don't just want to understand what you say, but we want to understand the feeling between the conversation as well. So that's why we need to know more about the English.
I was talking to Emi after one of the shows at Ichikaya, and I told her that, you guys were so kind and these shows were so fun. I want to tell the world about Gatoh Move. I want to let everybody know about it. And I promised her, I said, when I go back to America, I'm going to tell everybody about Gatoh Move. And it was the inspiration to start this podcast was Gatoh Move.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, and it was fun to go to the show and then hear your commentary on the matches that I was at. So that was kind of neat too.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, no, you're so talented. You're very fun to listen to. You're, oh my God, and that kind of stuff all the time. It's very entertaining.
That's good. Sometimes I don't know how to talk because the play-by-play is everything happens so fast, right, in a match. So it's improved my English as well. Sometimes I watch my first match, like in the commentaries, they come on Borishoy and Riho in Ichigaya. It's still too difficult for me, But I'm glad I get more positive feedback, but I will keep improving. Yeah, I still not satisfied, and I know.
Pumi, I'm sure you go on Twitter and see all the people are giving you love all the time about your commentary. I mean, I can go on right now and see all these messages about
I'm so appreciate. Yeah.
So last week I told everybody to watch the Antonio Honda and Lulupencil match.
Okay.
What did you call that match the greatest match of all time?
Oh yes. Yeah, I want to put over our girls, so that's good.
Antonio Honda is a super fun guy too.
Yeah. He went from Ishigaya to the sumo hall, so that's very interesting.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I watched that show this past week, and that was a fun show to watch. And Riho's out there too. That's a small crowd now for Riho. The sumo hall. She's used to bigger crowds now.
Yeah. But it's good.
It's really good. Yeah.
Yes.
So let's kind of wrap this up a little bit here. Tell me about what's coming up for Gatoh Move.
Okay, I will focus on the. We have a lot of trainees, right? Right now, that's just debuted on the 28th of August. So it may take a little bit of time to make sure fans knows more about the other trainees. Right now, okay, let's see. You all know about the Lulupencil, but there are a lot of trainees that can shine. I think in the next few months, you're gonna see more international fans talk about our trainees. So I'm sure it will happen because I have trust in our trainees. So, okay, let's see. My personal goal is for us to go back to Korakuen Hall once again. We didn't go there for a year or two already. So I think with this situation, we have a chance if we keep working hard to be there. Yeah, so I want to make Ichigaya the kind of one of the most unique wrestling environment in the world, and become like the symbols of Japanese wrestling, something that fans know. I want to change Ichigaya from the place that you have only 40 fans while you just perform on the very small crowd like this, blah 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 blah, to become more negative feedback, to become like, I want to be the part of that 40 audience in the venue. I want to be that, just like you need to challenge each other to get the tickets, blah 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 blah. Because I think Nishikaya is really fun place to watch wrestling, in my opinion. Yeah, and
it's my favorite place now. I mean, there's singing, there's dancing, there's wrestling, there's talking after the show. It's a whole unique environment and such a fun environment.
Yeah, and lastly, I want the girls who work hard every day, like Gatoh Move roster, to get more international fans. Because, okay, this is only my opinion, but sometimes in life, in wrestling career, sometimes you may think, maybe we are not good enough, maybe we don't have a future because we wrestle in a very small crowd. But to have your guys in the international fans, that give us a lot of confidence, to know that many people cheering for us, to know that many people waiting for our next show, or many people supporting us. So that's something we know that why we work hard for. So we always grateful and thankful for you all. Yeah.
And Pumi, I don't know if you realize, but how big of a part you're playing in these women becoming successful. I mean, you're the English person, you're the English speaking person that's telling us about these people, and you're doing your job as an announcer, making these people stars. So you're doing a wonderful job at that.
Oh, thank you for that. That's what I want it to be, I think. Yeah.
I mean, for as big as May gets, as big as Lulupencil gets, I mean, you're right there pushing them along and helping them along. I think it's amazing.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Hey, Pumi, I want to say again, thank you so much for being on the podcast with me, and I hope when I'm trying to go back to Japan in March, so I'm hoping that maybe you and I can meet up somewhere sometime and shake each other's hands and watch a show together.
Sure. That's going to be good.
All right.
I can't wait for that.
All right, Pumi. Thank you so much. And we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thank you so much. Talk to you soon as well. Have a good day.